Hello, I'd like to welcome everyone to the North Carver Water District. This meeting was called because of an email that was sent by the DEP that concerned me, and I forwarded it to the two other members here. Thank you, Area 58, for covering this. I appreciate it. And before I start, I just want to do some disclosures here, just to cover ourselves. I had some keys made for the plant for the two other members and put it in our lockbox there. There was some issues with gaining access to the actual front gate and to get into the facility, so some text by Eric to me, which will be saved, and also emails that were sent out. Anything having to do with keys, security of the plant, that will not be disclosed. That's confidential information that cannot be posted, just to let people know that that did happen. What else? That will go over later. I think that's really it for that disclosure, to cover ourselves with those texts and emails about the keys. All right, the first part of this is DEP enforcement issues. Like I said, it was sent out there to us. We've already had a draft enforcement order. The members were given those last meeting, and then we received another meeting, a 30-day notice to get an operator, and we haven't done that yet. And then the DEP wants to know what the town, what their part with the North Carver Water District is going to be, because we have a full board now, and we are a separate entity from the town of Carver. They want to know what the town's going to be part of it. I haven't had any discussions with the town administrator regarding that, but I did want to talk about the enforcement issues, of how we want to respond to this last one that we just got. I'll open it up to you guys.
So I'll start off. I spoke with the town manager, Jay McPhail, over at Middleborough. So they're the operator for the distribution part of that system currently, because they're feeding the water. They're doing all the distribution operation, all the pipes going to the homes, reading the meters. They can handle, you'd have to go through their town, they'd have to review it and see if they'd be open to doing that as well, but they're already doing the major part of the operation of the system. Short term, we can do a little contract to be compliant with DEP. He'd have to work, Jay would have to approach the town in the water department if they could take that on.
Go ahead. With that being said, I mean, the agreement between the town of Carver and the town of Middleborough, because that's where the contract is with, dealing with to supply water to those members of our residents here in town and the commercial properties. That's an agreement between the town and Middleborough. I haven't seen a copy of that has a signed from the town of Middleborough. I've requested it, still haven't gotten that one yet. And yes, they are providing the services because they're providing the water. They have to provide those services anyways because they're in control of that. But our district still has to do what we have to do, and we have to respond to DEP in some way, shape, or form. And that's what I want to discuss with you guys, is how do we want to respond to DEP with these issues?
I think we should approach Jim McLaughlin. Middleborough is open to picking up the other portion of it to get us compliant with them. Short term, long term, whatever it may be, while we're on the distribution system, and we'll be compliant with DEP. And they can give us a proposal on what the cost would be to run the plant and just do the samples once a month or whatever is needed on the water supply. I don't know how often that's done. Do you have input on plants?
Yeah,
It's offline, so I'm sure it's
you just do it. They give you a sheet.
quarterly or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
every quarter. You're supposed to do so many samples and put it top line, but you still can do your sample.
So what are you saying that we elicit the help of Middleborough to be the operators of our plant?
Yeah, well, it's dormant, so it's not really operating, but they're gonna do the sampling to keep us compliant with DEP. They're already doing the distribution system, portion of the system, because they're supplying the water to us. So they have to do that, and they're doing the meter reads quarterly. So they can pick up that other portion, the treatment side, which is, it's a T2 level, which is probably a quarterly sampling. I don't know the specifics on it. I don't know what's involved. I'm sure it's minimal, probably 2 hours a month. But I'm not sure. I don't want to speak on that. That's
There's no population served.
what is it?
Sampling goes by population served, how many samples you gotta do.
Okay. And where it's offline, I don't know if that's going to throw something different in. But I'm sure they probably talk with Jim McLaughlin often because they're a public utility as well. So they'd have more of the details on it.
So we have an issue with that because we can't just go ahead and say, oh, all right, we're going to let Middleborough do it, here you go.
No,
All right, we would still have to put out an RFP to make it for everyone have an opportunity for that.
if it's over a certain threshold, we get council to chime in on that. I mean, it's not going to,
We don't have council.
well, the town has council.
Well, the district doesn't have council, and the town is a separate entity from the town of Carver. I think that's what we have to understand. The North Carver Water District is a separate entity from the town of Carver.
Right.
Okay, we have to have a step back, all right, where the town does their thing and we do our thing, and that's why I have, an email went out to Copeland, KP Law, Greg Corbo, from me, saying that I would like to see a contract, all right, that the North Carver Water District signed with KP Law or Copeland and Page Law Firm, back whenever, all right? And I have yet to see anything. And not only that is, this district, I went back through the meeting minutes, and I can't see any time where the North Carver Water District went ahead and said, hey, we're gonna increase the amount that Copeland and Page gets for their hourly wages. I can't find that, okay? So whatever we are paying out of ours to Copeland and Page, if we haven't agreed to that money, then we have an issue. So that whole thing with legal, we're gonna kind of bypass that and go back to the enforcement issues, because that's what we're really after here. And I understand what you're going at, but that would be a whole different ballgame in a type of a contract that we would have to
Right.
formulate in.
And we have another layer to that though as well. We have no money.
Okay,
So for us to make the, so the town of Carver is kind of like the umbrella and North Carver rolls up under it. North Carver Water says, can we have some of this? And we pay them back if we get funds or whatever comes in. But we're on the hook, the town's on the hook for 5.6 million through 2046, I believe, but 236,000 a year. That was kind of getting covered by what was taken in from the water service, which obviously Middleborough has now. The money that is being charged to the residents in the North Carver district, that money is covering the water supply coming in, that's paying
So-
for it. So we don't have any
we
other money.
don't, but you have to understand is that it doesn't matter if we have money or we don't have money, it really doesn't matter.
Right.
Because if you look at the laws that say that a water district is supposed to cover, okay, our job is to get this plant so it's in compliance with DEP.
Right.
All right, and that we can provide water to the residents that need it in our town. Okay, if Middleborough ever shuts us off and says, nope, we're not gonna provide you water, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna wait months and months and months for us to finally get this water system back up and running again?
No.
I mean, see, this is the issue that we have. We have to get a system running. And if we have to collect debt, all right, if we have to go search out debt to pay for these things to get the plant running, okay, because of all the issues in the past that were never addressed, then we have to go, we are allowed to do that. We can go get debt, okay, and the town's gonna have to pay for it. People may not like that I'm saying this, but the bottom line here is that town meeting allowed us, okay, to do this, all right? And we have to do what town meeting told us to do, okay? We can't turn around and just say, hey, yeah, we're just not gonna do anything, we're gonna mothball the place and that's it. That's not what town meeting told us to do, all right? So we really have to get it out of our heads about what the plan was prior to me getting on this board, and we have to look at it a different way of saying, okay, we have to get the plant up and running, okay? Get DP off our backs and know that we have that ability, okay? So,
And I think we started that last week. Next week, we have a meeting with finance.
Right, I think we
We're
need,
gonna approach them for money, but I think in the short term, to get DEP satisfied with the situation, Middleborough is already doing half the testing. To have them pick up a little bit more at a small cost, if anything, we might not even have to go out to bid if it's under a certain threshold. They're already doing half of it, they just do the sampling inside.
we have to make it fair for everyone.
If it's,
All companies have to be fair,
Yes,
all
but-
right? And
if it's over a certain money amount, it has to go out to bid. I think it's $10,000. Otherwise, you can choose who you want. And we're already working with half the system with them.
okay, so let's just put this. So what is, well, we're gonna move on to RFP for, because it looks like the only thing you want me to do is respond with, all right, we're gonna work toward getting an operator in.
Yeah, we have to get that resolved. That's the number one
Yeah.
issue right now.
So that's how I'll respond to it, okay? The RFP for the water operator, I gave you a new one. The only thing I wanna talk about this one is, I made sure there was nothing in here about engineering, but there is on page 5, on number N, it does say professional services, for a, operator that comes in here. I just wanted you guys to be aware, that's the only place that
Which item number?
it's N. 1, 2, 3, the fourth one down, okay? Says provide all qualified operation, maintenance, and management of personnel, on-site technical support, administrative, corporate support, and professional services. So, all right, that's the only place that it has anything in there that could be related to any type of engineering, but I wanted that disclosed right off the bat,
Right.
okay? So, having Middleborough take over the operation, I think,
Interim, on the interim, just so we get DEP satisfied and we can move forward with the RFP for engineering and see what's gonna be done with the plant.
well, see, and that will be have to, my feeling is we have to have a contract. We have to have a contract.
Which is,
Okay,
I'm sure
and-
Middleborough will want with us.
And we have to have it clearly defined of what they're going to do. And if they're just gonna come in and just do the testing, all right, that is needed, I think that's a waste of money, to be honest, because we have a whole plant that needs to be addressed.
Right, well, it's offline now, but this water testing has to be compliant with DEP, so it's a sampling. So, I mean, they can look at, I mean, that's gonna be part of the study. We're not running water through the facility currently.
We can't because we don't have an operator.
Correct. But the system's got issues also. That's why we went back to Middleborough, because there were some other issues that had to be addressed. That's
So the best, now that it's down and offline, all right, it's best that we do the maintenance on it when we have the availability.
Right.
Because if something happens to Middleborough, we don't have a backup plan.
Correct.
Middleborough was our backup plan. Well, what if our backup plan goes? What is our next plan?
Right.
All right,
Understood.
so, what you had brought up at the last one, and this is my question is, why do you only want a one-year contract?
Because we're gonna have a feasibility study done, correct?
We don't know that yet.
So if we commit, I'm fine, you can put it longer if you'd like, but we have to have an option to opt out. If we do an engineered study and something changes that we remain, the town, North Carver area remains on Middleborough water, the plant is gonna cost $20 million to upgrade, and it goes to the town to vote on, and they say no,
I don't think it's gonna be $20 million, to be honest.
I'm just throwing a number out there.
All right.
I know the average upgrade's around 10 to 15 million,
we get,
and we have a $5.6 million debt already.
Okay.
Depends what you go with.
So the issue here with, I looked at this and I said, you know what? I don't think any company would come in for a one-year contract knowing that they have to comply with this type of a contract. This contract was built for a 3-year contract at a minimum.
Right.
All right, knowing that we're gonna have a company that come in here, give us a bid for a 3-year contract to get the plant up and running. okay? And in my opinion, that's what we need. We need a company to come in here and take over right now, all right? Therefore, we can now look to the future, all right? And then the future is, I had a call with George McLaughlin today, in between my babysitting, and he estimated that he's looking at, when full build out of his property would be about 50,000 gallons a day usage, which would be at $200,000 a year coming into the North Carver Water District. I gave you actually a form here and some paperwork. This came from the urban renewal plan, and this is something that we have to understand. All right, from the urban renewal plan that we signed on with the RDA, signed this with them, okay? There's this form here with all these, this came from them. And it clearly says that we're gonna provide water from the North Carver Water District. Potable water and fire protection, okay? It doesn't say that in one places, it says it in 3 places. So the other issue that we have is they actually put in, for a water storage tank for fire suppression is 500,000 gallons, is $2.5 million. That's what they estimated. Now, we're going back a few years with this.
This is pre-COVID, so.
Yeah.
All right, so I just want to make sure that you guys understood that, all right, it's probably going to be more than that. But they also at that time estimated at 38,000 gallons per day as their total build out. And no matter what, if the state already gave $1.3 million to put in a new roadway and put in water pipes to go into that facility that Route 44 development has. Knowing that we have to provide water to that urban renewal plan, and he's looking at possibly 2 years for him to start building out there and having someplace out there, and we have to provide water to them, okay? We're gonna have to provide water. And Middleborough, from what he has said, is that Middleborough's not interested in giving them water, that Middleborough's already is being asked by a school district and another town, from what I hear, is looking for water to get through Middleborough too. And I know they wanna increase it to twice the capacity that they can push out. What do? I mean, we have to provide water, we have to have a system to do it. That's why, in my opinion, putting this RFP out here now is important.
Yeah, now you can make it an option, have them bid on 3 options, 1, 2, and 3 year contract. They can bid it either way.
But
The feasibility, an engineered feasibility study is gonna probably take a year to 1.5 years on that facility.
But we still have to get it up and running.
Correct, well, we'll have an operator in place that's operating the plant, testing it, and keeping it compliant.
But they're not gonna be doing any work to the plant.
Well, they'll make sure everything's operational. They gotta run the interior of the plant to get sampling. It's gonna run through everything. It's gonna run the plant, and they gotta
But
sample.
they don't run the same type of plant that we have here.
Correct.
All right, the xenon system that we have is a different system than what Middleborough uses, okay? And it's run a different way, how it start up, there's a whole process on how it start up, all right, and how to go dial it in. I've been reading a lot about this.
No, it's very well, yeah.
So, I mean, we need someone that knows this type of system, period, cut and dry, all right? We can't just turn around and say, all right, we'll get an operator in here, here you go, all right, that has no qualifications in this type of a plant.
Well, you and I don't operate plants. Doug's worked on every type of plant, well, most plants for 35 years. I mean, I don't know, you've seen.
I've done UV and.
Okay, so that's a UV plant.
So, I mean, that's what I'm saying here, is that this is its own little beast.
So we put it out to bid, they gotta be qualified to do it.
And that's what this would do.
Okay.
All right, and what I'm looking to do now is that we get a vote to put this out to bid
Let's,
with a 3-year contract.
but let's have
Okay.
council review it first. We don't wanna,
We don't have council.
well, let's ask, they're gonna look out for the betterment of the town regardless.
But they don't represent us.
We need council to review the.
We do, and that's a whole different ballgame.
All right, before we submit this out to public to bid on, we have to, and somebody signs it and sends it back, we have to make sure we're covered.
And that's why I wanted us to put out to bid an RFP for council at the last meeting, and that was shut down. Okay, so we don't have council.
So next week, we're speaking with finance. We gotta get funds.
Right, that's what I thought.
We have to put something out, okay? And in my opinion, the best way to do this is submit this in. There's a disclosure in here that if there's anything wrong with it, we're not held liable for it, because there's a disclosure in there to cover ourselves on that, okay? And these guys that, with these big companies, because that's all we're gonna get, we're gonna get big companies.
Exactly, and I wanna
Okay.
cover our ass before we send something out.
Yeah.
But these guys, something goes wrong, and it could cost us a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's why I want it reviewed by somebody with some type of legal. It doesn't even have to be Copeland and Finch.
Well, we can't have any other legal do it, because we don't have any legal for it.
I think we should wait till next meeting and we can talk.
Next Wednesday, we're meeting.
Yeah.
We can let DEP know. We're gonna talk to Middleborough about an option for them to operate the plant.
We don't
And then
know
we're
what
gonna
money
also
we have.
have the RFP reviewed to get bids on the water.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it doesn't matter if we have money, we don't have money. It doesn't matter, okay? We have a legal obligation, all right, to get that plant up and running. Period, cut and dry, we have a legal obligation. And if we don't have money in our budget, then we have to turn around and seek out the money for it by getting a loan, all right, for it. If we have to do that, all right, that's it, all right? I hate to say it, but guess what? I didn't put me into this position.
That's why we have to
All
work with
right.
the town. They've backed us before, and they will support us again.
The issue here is not the town right now, the issue here is us.
But we need the funds. We can go to the town, or we can go to a bank. Regardless, we need the funds. The town has been giving us the funds to support everything above and beyond the cost of the plant already.
But they haven't.
They have.
No, they haven't, because if they had the money, then we'd have a running plant, okay? We'd have electricity in the plant, that, we have lights that actually work, all right? We would have the garage that's bent, that would be fixed, all right? So there are things in that plant that don't work, all right? There's a computer system that's outdated. That hasn't been replaced yet, okay? So, and the issue has been, quote, money. And if the town has been supporting us, well, guess what? They've been supporting a company that I think took the money and ran, that was doing it, and nobody was overseeing this company. I don't want that. I want somebody professional. I want a company to come in here, all right, and take over everything. I don't want to do piecemeal. I want to go ahead, get in there, get the plant up and running, get DEP off our backs. That's what I want to see. I mean, if you guys don't want to do that, then don't, okay? But I want to make sure perfectly clear that this is what I want. So,
The plant took in 436, bill expenses were $436,000. It took in 230.
yeah,
The note on the property and the plant is 230.
Yeah.
The town paid the rest of the money for our bills.
they have to.
Exactly.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts, they have to. Whatever we do here, the
We
town
have
has
to
to pick it up.
We have to request it, and we have to have good cause. Right now, we have cause. We need
We
support to
have
get it
cause to
operated.
do ahead and get a
But we
RFP
can't,
put out.
we can't go out though without counsel. I don't want this form going out without counsel. I've seen too many issues with big companies. Something's wrong in this. This is, you drew this, great, copy and paste, whatever you downloaded, that's great. I don't know whose contract it is. I'm not gonna go signing anything without my counsel reviewing it, and there could be loopholes. And we're gonna be on the hook for it. Plain and simple.
Okay, like I said, if you guys don't want to vote on this, that's fine.
I don't wanna,
But-
I wanna make a motion to move forward with proceeding after we speak with finance and we have legal counsel review the RFP.
We don't have legal counsel, that's what I'm telling you.
This will be resolved when we meet with finance, we'll get the
I think we
funds.
need to meet, I want to meet with finance and
So-
I need,
I just want to make it clear here. So what you're saying here is that we have to have counsel looked at. Great. So we put out an RFP for counsel first. All right. That's going to take at least 3 weeks, because I've already done it with the Waste District to get counsel for the North Water District, yeah. Okay. Then we go forward and we say, okay, fine. Here we go. We have counsel. Counsel, look at this. Here you go. All right. Then we wait another month
No.
for this to go through.
We're meeting next week with finance. The first thing we need to do is meet with finance. Next week, they could say, we can give you $100,000 right now. What are you looking to do? We want to contact our own counsel to review the RFP we have and get that out. We also want to talk to Middleborough on them running our plant, if it's possible. They might not be able to do it to get us compliant with DEP. Now we're moving forward. DEP's not helping us. We're gonna get council to review the RFP. We have something that's gonna cover us. We'll get bids from other companies, large corporations, to come in and say, this is what we're gonna cost for a 1, 2, 3-year contract to operate your plant. And then we get engineered study to come in and say, let's do an overall appraisal of the system and what's needed to, is it gonna work for the current situation it's in? What's gonna be upgraded and what's gonna be done to comply with growth, if it could happen.
All right, I disagree. Okay, you two may agree. All right,
Feel
so,
better leaving it up till next week and finding what's going on.
all right, that's being said, I mean, we have a meeting next week, and,
And we can reach out to Jim at DEP.
oh, I will, after this meeting, I'll reach out to him again, like I did, I'll let him know that we had a discussion tonight about it, and that,
Middleborough
we're not
is-
gonna do,
yeah.
we're not gonna do anything. As with any company or anybody that goes into that plant, I wanna make sure that anybody that goes into that plant not only has the licenses, but has worked in this type of a plant, because it's a specialized plant,
Yeah, this
all right?
certification.
But even still, we need to know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
All right, because I don't want to pay for somebody just, oh, we're just doing the test and there you go, see you later, bye. Okay, we need to have it brought into a workable state. All right, but if they're not prepared to do that, because, I mean, $30,000 is gonna go like that.
Right, and I'm kind of-
Easily,
yeah.
not even talking about the issues with
It's a week.
the security system, the lights, the electrical system, okay? Not even talking about those, all right? Because those all have to be dealt with before we get an operator in there.
Agreed.
Because they can't go in there if they can't see. And like I said, that'll be dealt with at the next meeting, hopefully. But I was hoping that we could come to an agreement and put this out there, but I mean, clearly it's not going to.
I think we reach out to Jim from DEP, let him know we want to, Middleborough, speaking with them, they entertain possibly running the plant, if that's even a possibility for us. We don't know the certifications, if they're trained to do that. We also have meeting with finance on Wednesday about funds, so we can get an RFP out, reviewed and out for companies to bid on operation of the plant and get it up and running. My concern is, it's been offline for 7 months now. I don't know what's gonna go on.
Well,
with
it hasn't been offline. It's been cycled around up until May 17th.
Yeah, but it's not
Okay, when it was
putting
shut
it
down.
into the system.
Yeah, but it hasn't been discharging
It's
40,000 gallons a
yeah,
day to
you
the
still
system.
gotta do the same.
It was still being run, and it was, the water coming out of that plant was healthy potable water.
Right.
Okay, all the results, I gave it to you guys, the results that the plant can work, it can provide water.
It can, but it
Clean
still
water.
has to go, you still have to test again once you put it back online.
I understand
Okay.
that, but it's gonna have to be done anyways.
Yes.
No matter what, the testing needs to be done. Right now, Middleborough's taking care of all the other testing, dealing with the water system, providing water to the residents and the commercial. All right, the testing at the facility is a whole different ballgame. But knowing that what Route 44 development in the future is gonna be, to know that we're gonna need somebody in 2 years to get water out there to them,
If it can happen, that's why we want to do the feasibility study.
it can happen. We know the plant does work. We just have to keep the maintenance up on it. And that's the problem. Maintenance wasn't done.
Yeah, but we were supplying 40,000 gallons a day. It's supposedly a 100,000 gallon plant. I've been told it's probably 80 or less at best.
Yeah.
I think it was closer to 60, to be honest. But
Yeah, so-
even
It's
still,
not good.
right. But if we have a potential,
It's a bad design.
oh, I agree.
So I
but
think we-
actually, I don't
we need
think it's a
to-
bad. Wait, I don't think it's a bad design.
It's an outdated design.
It's an outdated service that
It's a
should
good
never have
design
been
for
put
like
in.
it's like a condo complex. But I think the suffice on, it's not good to,
Yeah, you're running, what, mile and a half worth of,
Right.
2 miles worth of lines
it's not,
with pumps.
yeah.
I totally understand, and that was,
I can't speak
that's the design that was created
I
back
know.
then.
It was built for
All right,
us,
the
I know.
engineering service, and that's my fear, is that the same engineering company that designed this, all right, is gonna come and do the engineering to fix this.
I think Weston and Sampson built it, I believe.
I don't know.
The engineering service was the same one that we have now that the town uses.
For,
From what I was told is that they're the ones that, whatever the company is, I can't remember the name of it. But they're the ones that turned around and came forward. And if I remember correctly, there was actually, I saw documents relating to that too. Weston and Sampson may have built it,
Right.
the system, but they didn't engineer it.
Okay.
The engineering came from our engineers here in our town.
Are they still here currently, or no?
As far as we've had the same one for many, many, many years.
Okay.
So, but the bottom line here is that
Yeah,
we're not gonna, because really, I just want to make clear with the questions that I had. All right, what do you guys expect any company to come in for a one-year contract? What do you expect them to do?
so they're gonna do a one-year contract, operate and run the plant. Most of the large corporations I deal with, it's an annual contract. With towns, small public supplies, you guys deal with.
And a lot of these companies come in and actually support and will train the next employee or whatever. And run through the system and show them how to do it and
Pass it on.
pass it on.
So, and then my next question would be then, do you guys want the water system to go back online?
Maybe.
No, I'm just asking you guys right now. I mean, yes or no? I mean, it's not really a maybe, it's a yes or no question.
Yeah, I think it'd be great for the town if it ran, but, I mean, without a feasibility study and seeing what it can do, I mean, how many phone calls have come in about the water issues in the last 6 months?
A few, there's been a few.
What's been the issue? Too much pressure? It was weekly when it was on the system, so we gotta look at all the,
But if you look at back, had the district here oversaw the company that was running it, okay, and ensured things were going, and repaired things when it should have been repaired, all right, and kept up the repairs and maintenance of a facility like this, because that's the biggest thing. When I went to other plants, 2 of them already, their big thing is that they have redundancy, all right, within the plant, and they also turn around and have enough supplies to fix anything that's in there, right then and there, that they don't go out and say, oh, I need a pot right now. Like, can you ship it into me 24 hours? No, they already have the parts and everything there to do that. That didn't happen.
no, but until we got on here, Bob, all the money, and it was told, pay the debt down. Don't put anything in the plant. I mean, you've been in the plant. I mean, there's been a ton, I was in there the other day. There's been a ton of upgrades. You can see the spare parts that are there, all brand new. We put some money, we spent some money, and then we put a budget aside of 50,000. I don't know where that's been spent on, but there was no budget. It was pay the debt, zero money left in the account. Pay the debt.
The debt for this really shouldn't come from the North Carver Water District. The debt should come from the town, period, because the town got that debt. The town did that. The only thing, the money that comes from the water usage here should go to the plant. The North Carver Water District should have nothing to do with the debt
Right.
that the town incorporated in buying the land and building the water plant. The town did that, and the town should be picking up those costs, not the North Carver Water District.
Right.
We shouldn't have to worry about that. The only thing we worry about here is the plant, and to make sure everyone's getting potable, clean water that's healthy and safe. Okay, so, and now that we got that, the idea that we have to get it up and running, that's a good thing. I just wanted you guys to be aware that the DEP is watching us very closely, and that if we don't start doing something proactively, we're gonna be looking at a $100 fine a day. That's the bottom
if
line.
you're gonna have a conversation with Jim, I would let him know that I've spoken to Middleborough. They're already doing the distribution side. They possibly could entertain overseeing the operation side, potentially, if they could have the skill set involved in their department, they could take that on. But also, we're gonna get the RFP reviewed, submitted, and he'll know, the ball's in, it's in motion. We're not gonna hire somebody tomorrow anyway. We could put this out tomorrow, we It's gonna
That-
probably take a month and a half before we get bids back.
Well, see, and that's the other thing is dates I had here, and no sense going into dates now, but it's gotta be posted for 14 days at a minimum, okay? Typically, you'd like to do it for 30 days, so you can get more in there, but because we need it, and would be a 14-day posting period, then a 1 week for us to look at it, open up the bids, and find out, hey, here we go, this is what we got, and then we can vote on it after that. So the bottom line here, we're looking at least 3 weeks at a minimum, 4 weeks max,
Yeah.
for us to do this. But the longer we wait, the longer we do things, and we don't get things done, then, I mean, I have to say, the contract that we had with small water systems was a crappy contract.
Oh, I understand, I saw
It
it
was-
after it was signed.
It was a crappy contract, okay? And you want the law firm that helped create that contract to look at this one. That just blows
I
my...
didn't see the contract.
Okay.
It wasn't signed by anybody on North Carver Water.
I understand that, but that's the issue that we have, is that contract was a crappy contract, the way it was written, okay? And I wouldn't want the law firm that wrote that one to have anything to do with us. That's why we have to have a separation between the town of Carver, the North Carver Water District. We need our own law firm. Same with the waste district that we had. We had legal counsel with them.
Yeah.
We went ahead, he retired, we put an RFP out. We got three companies come in to give us a bid for it. All right, we interviewed them all, and we made a decision after that, and we picked one company out for that. And they were a great company, law firm that
And-
helped us a lot.
And this will be our result next week. We'll
And-
get some monies and we'll go forward.
If we don't get them, quote, if we don't get the money here, because town meeting approved money already, but we still have to do it. What if they turn around and say, oh, nope, we're not gonna give you any money here for it, what are we gonna do then?
I'm not paying for it.
Well, we gotta pay taxes, we all pay taxes. That's the thing, is we're all taxpayers here.
Right, but
Okay, and it's gonna
somebody's gonna
come,
write the check though.
the bottom line here is that we have to turn around and comply with what DEP says and what the
Correct.
laws say that a water district has to do. Okay, and
That's, all right, we know that. Let's get with finance next week and get the ball rolling. We can sit here and talk about, just for being
all right,
repetitive, yeah.
right.
Sit with finance next week. We'll designate, see what we can get set aside for a feasibility study, and then for an operator, and then for our own counsel to review the RFP, to get it submitted. That should take maybe a day for a lawyer to look over and say, this is what's gonna be addressed, and get it over to us.
I can tell you right now, I do not want KP Law
Yes, you-
looking over this period
That's
cut and dry.
understood. We'll get somebody else.
All right,
That's fine.
but we can't get somebody else because we have to turn around and we have to go out and put it out for an RFP.
If it's
And-
under a certain threshold, you can have somebody just, here, we wanna hire you to do this. If they say it's $1,200, here you go. There's a threshold within a municipality that you can just have somebody, you pay a
I
contractor to do
understand
that.
there's a threshold for it, but I also understand that we should have our own law firm, all right, for it. Bottom line here, for us.
If we get to that
need our-
point, we will. Understood.
All right. Okay, anything else?
No, I don't get it.
All right. Entertain a motion to adjourn?
Second?
Next meeting was on the agenda.
Next Wednesday,
Okay, so you stay on the 27th.
yeah, 6 o'clock.
Yes. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.